Hi, welcome back to the YouTube channel for the Renaissance English History Podcast. I'm your host, Heather. I've been podcasting on Tudor England since 2009 with my show, which makes it the original Tudor History Podcast. This channel is where I put all of my episodes from all of my shows, as well as tons of extra content like this video right here. Today, we are going to talk about that summer of 1575 when Robert Dudley thought that he could woo Queen Elizabeth. He put all of his eggs into one basket and tried his best to put on the best summer progress stop for her, filled with pageants and all kinds of amazing entertainment, and showing her what life would be like if she would be his queen, if she would marry him. And it didn't actually work out for him, spoiler alert, but it was an amazing event, and it actually might have influenced a very young Shakespeare. So we're going to talk about the summer progress of 1575 at Kenilworth Castle. Before we get started, though, just a friendly reminder that if you would like to see more Tudor history in your YouTube feed, who doesn't, you should just go ahead and hit subscribe right now so you never miss a video that I put out. All right, it was July of 1575, and the Queen's summer progress had taken her to Warwickshire. But this wasn't an ordinary royal visit. Oh, no. When Elizabeth I arrived at Kenilworth Castle, she was met with a scene straight out of a medieval romance, and not just the literary kind. For 19 days, her longtime favorite, her true love, the love of her life, Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, transformed his castle into the stage for what might be the most elaborate courtship performance in all of Tudor history. The castle was dazzling. There were newly landscaped gardens, a specially built bridge over a lake, and a full schedule of entertainment. Dudley wasn't just hosting the Queen. He was trying, perhaps for the final time, to convince her to marry him. He did it with poetry, with pageantry, music, fireworks, and no small amount of political ambition. So how did he plan it? What actually happened during those 19 days? And why, after all of it, did Elizabeth still walk away unmarried? Let's break it down. So by 1575, Robert Dudley had been in Elizabeth's inner circle for over 15 years. They had known each other for such a long time. They practically grew up together, but he had been in her inner circle of her court for 15 years. Their closeness had been the source of court gossip since the very earliest days of her reign. He was handsome, charming, athletic, and very, very ambitious. And while Elizabeth had hinted more than once that she wouldn't marry, Dudley was not ready to give up. The visit to Kenilworth wasn't spontaneous. Dudley had been preparing this for months, possibly longer, and his goal was clear: to show the Queen and her entire court that he could offer everything that a monarch would need: wealth, magnificence, loyalty, and the ability to command admiration and obedience. He didn't cut any corners. He poured an estimated £1,000 a day into the entertainment, an astronomical sum for over 19 days. Adjusted for inflation, that's well over £1 million in today's money. Architects, engineers, poets, musicians, cooks, carpenters, he employed hundreds to pull it all off. Everything was tailored to suit Elizabeth's tastes. And more importantly, everything was designed to remind her that he was still waiting. Dudley even had pamphlets printed and distributed about the event, likely with the help of the poet George Gascoigne. He wanted this moment to echo long beyond and far beyond Kenilworth, to turn local hospitality into a national legend. The entertainments were relentless in the best possible way. Each day brought something new: mock battles, processions, music, masks, bear baiting, and banquets that stretched into the early hours. There were fireworks over the lake, rare and thrilling for the time, and even a floating mechanical Triton who rose from the water and delivered poetry in honor of the Queen. One of the most elaborate moments came when a costumed actor appeared as the Lady of the Lake and emerged from a specially built island in the middle of the lake. She delivered a lengthy speech welcoming Elizabeth and urging her to accept the love of a noble heart, Dudley's, of course. That's how blunt all this got. Everything revolved around the Queen. Even the hunting trips, which were one of her favorite pastimes, were staged carefully so that she would always have the best view, the most impressive stag, the perfect courtly experience. Nothing was left to chance. Inside the castle, Elizabeth's chambers were renovated and furnished to royal standards. The Great Hall was decorated with silks and tapestries. The newly landscaped gardens included symbolic topiary and marble fountains added just for the occasion. In short, Kenilworth had been transformed into a fairy tale, and Dudley was hoping that it would end like one too. This wasn't the work of a few household staff. Dudley effectively mobilized an entire workforce, hundreds of local laborers, artisans, cooks, musicians, and performers. He had the water features installed, including pipes that made the fountains spray wine. He built stages and platforms around the lake. Even the Queen's movements from one part of the ground to another were carefully orchestrated so that she would always arrive at the next entertainment at just the right moment. Local tradespeople worked overtime. Inns in nearby towns were full. This was the biggest event Warwickshire had ever seen and perhaps ever would. And speaking of Warwickshire, just 15 miles down the road in Stratford-upon-Avon, a certain 11-year-old boy named William Shakespeare was growing up. His father, John Shakespeare, was a local official who was likely involved in civic events, maybe even helping to prepare for this massive event. While there's no direct evidence that young Will saw the Kenilworth festivities, the theory has a certain magic to it. And it makes perfect sense. His father would have been involved with it. And you can imagine his father bringing him along to see some of these events, the fireworks and the musicians and the staging. And it kind of gives you a little bit of goosebumps. This little boy with the love of words and drama, witnessing the Queen herself in these elaborate pageants, these mythological figures rising from lakes, speeches in verse, fireworks and feasts. It's not hard to imagine how that could leave an impression. Even scholars who are cautious about this theory admit that it's entirely plausible. After 19 days, Elizabeth left Kenilworth. She praised the entertainments. She praised the Earl. But she didn't offer her hand in marriage. Maybe she never intended to. Maybe she came to let him down gently. Or maybe she just liked keeping him close without ever saying yes. That kind of seems like her style. Whatever the reasons, Elizabeth, of course, remained the Virgin Queen. But Dudley's efforts weren't wasted. He didn't win her hand, but he did secure something almost as important, enduring favor. He remained her trusted advisor and her companion until his death in 1588. And the legend of Kenilworth lived on, and we still talk about it today, all these years later. So, a fairy tale castle, a love-struck earl, the most important woman in Europe. Kenilworth in 1575 was the ultimate Tudor spectacle. And young Shakespeare may have been there quietly watching from the crowd. That might have been the best outcome of all, huh? So what do you think? Do you think Shakespeare was there? Do you think Dudley wasted his money and his time in setting this up? Let me know in the comments. If you've made it this far in the video and you enjoyed it, I sure would appreciate a press of that like button. It helps to feed that algorithm and get our content to even more people. And I hope I earned your subscription to my channel where I put out videos like this on the regular. All right, my friend, I will be back very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, you are truly loved. I'm so glad I shared the planet with you. And don't forget to drink your water. All right, bye-bye, friend.